It was a cold autumn night, rain gently fell on the trees and a chilly wind was blowing through the air. Samira glanced at her phone one last time. It was close to midnight and she needed to head home from the university. Although the distance wasn't far, the dark and deserted path she had to take made her anxious. Samira slung her backpack over her shoulder and slowly made her way through the park. The dim streetlights barely illuminated the ground, and the tall shadows of the trees seemed to sway eerily. As she walked, an odd feeling crept over her, and she sensed that someone was watching her. Still, she tried to dismiss the thought, and quickened her pace. Halfway there, suddenly the sound of rustling leaves stopped her. She turned to look behind, but saw nothing, just the rain and the wind. She resumed walking, but now with a heightened sense of fear. Out of nowhere, a ringing phone echoed in the distance. Samira quickly reached into her pocket to answer the call, only to realize her phone was missing from her backpack. In shock, she glanced around, feeling an icy grip of panic take hold of her, as a shadow crept closer from the trees. The shadow swiftly took shape and turned into a human figure. Fear gripped Samira as she ran toward the park. She could hear heavy breathing behind her. The shadow was getting closer, slowly and menacingly. Samira ran without direction through the trees, trying not to look back. All that occupied her mind was escape. Finally reaching the other side of the park, she felt her breath catch in her throat. Suddenly, two more figures appeared before her, two men who looked eerily similar to the shadow. Samira sank into deep terror. They approached her slowly and one of them said softly, "We've been waiting for you." She was sure she couldn't escape anymore. Her luck had run out, but at that moment with all her might she yelled, "Help! Someone!" Suddenly the headlights of two cars appeared in the distance, their lights illuminating the scene. The shadows backed away in fear, disappearing into the night. Samira felt an overwhelming sigh of relief as she ran toward the cars. She was no longer alone and glanced back into the dark night, knowing what had been chasing her, but now she felt safe. Yet in the darkness, a shadow always lurked.